Crawford's payday $50 million. Canelo walked away with $150 million.
Well, he has done his deals, and that's what maybe Crawford was talking about. The fact that Sal Alvarez has been able to sell himself in such a way.
The guys that are still fighting, it's purely a money thing. They need to make the money to make the money.
But a lot of them, Patrick, you know, a lot of fighters have been, I mean, probably the greatest fighter, the greatest example of a fighter that's been.
The boxing world is buzzing after Canelo Alvarez's shocking defeat to Terence "Bud" Crawford, not just because of the outcome, but because of what happened after the fight. Reports revealed that despite losing decisively, Canelo walked away with an astronomical $150 million payday, while Crawford, the victorious fighter, earned just $50 million. The staggering contrast left fans stunned.
You know, the money that was generated in his career, the reality is probably 5 years ago, he was out of money.
Yeah.
I mean, he's actually had a good run now doing various bits and pieces. But how can you make hundreds of...
And furious. It wasn't just about the numbers. It highlighted the deep imbalance of power in boxing. One man lost but made 3 times as much money, while the winner, who cemented his legacy with a career-defining performance, walked away with a fraction of the earnings. Promoter Hearn weighed in, acknowledging Crawford's brilliance but reminding everyone of a cold truth. Boxing's biggest paydays aren't determined solely by skill, but by star power and marketability.
But I just think on reflection, looking at the torsos at the evening ceremonial weigh-in, doesn't mean everything, but I just got a feeling Canelo's going to control the fight in quite a technical affair, but a 115, 113, 116, 112 kind of ting,
yeah,
kind of ting.
According to Hearn, Canelo remains the sport's golden goose, a fighter whose name alone guarantees massive revenue. Win or lose, Alvarez has the leverage to dictate terms both inside and outside the ring. The picture is jarring. Crawford delivered a historic masterclass, completely outboxing Canelo, yet took home $50 million. Meanwhile, the defeated Alvarez banked $150 million simply because of his global status and...
The AI is meant to be the ultimate judge.
Yeah.
114, 114.
No, the other judges scored it 115, 113. There was miles apart. I mean, you can look at the fight. You can give round 5 to Canelo Alvarez. You might find another couple of rounds in there. You might find the first round that round was tied.
Yeah.
But the rest of the way there was a distinct level.
Something else that was a bit askew. Crawford's payday $50 million. Canelo walked away with
brand value. This glaring imbalance has fueled heated debate and intensified the rivalry between the two fighters. Outspoken commentator Simon Jordan didn't hold back, tearing into the situation with his trademark bluntness. He pointed out how AI scoring and official judging often differ, but no...
Agree. I mean, we're never going to agree on it. We're never going to agree on it.
Well,
but
you
when
guys
you
probably
don't
won't-
receive a
you
fine,
guys probably
when
won't
you
agree
don't
on it.
receive a ban, when you are cleared and not... The reality is, he has not been found guilty.
No matter what numbers the scorecards show, money continues to flow to boxing's most marketable stars. Crawford might have won the fight, Jordan said, but Canelo won the business side. For purists, this is a bitter pill to swallow. Proof that boxing rewards fame over skill and marketing over merit. Hearn defended the massive pay.
All praise to the Lord above me. I gotta give him all the praise, because without him, I wouldn't be here. And I told y'all, I'm not here just by a coincidence. God bless me, and he made this event, he made this night just for me.
Payday, arguing that the reality of the boxing business will always favor fighters like Canelo. It wasn't just about loyalty to Alvarez. It was about acknowledging the system itself. Names like Canelo are the engine of this sport, Hearn suggested, implying that power brokers will always protect the elite, ensuring their wealth and relevance remain untouched. But Crawford's performance spoke louder than business politics. His victory wasn't built on hype or matchmaking advantages. It was the result of raw talent.
On points, bro, crazy.
How did you have it?
I had him up, bro, convincingly. Awesome fight. Awesome. Hey, science of the sport. This guy adapts. I knew it.
How did you know he was going to win? Why?
He's got too much ammunition. You know, he's southpaw, orthodox, on the back foot. That's what changes good from great, is knowing how to adapt. You know, back.
Fine skill and relentless dedication. While Canelo collected 9 figures in defeat, Crawford's $50 million came from dismantling the sport's most protected star. For many fans, this feels like a slap in the face of fairness. Rising star Jaron Boots. Ennis added his voice to the debate, emphasizing what separates great fighters from overhyped ones. Adaptability. Everything Ennis described fit Crawford perfectly. Slick, versatile, and lethal from every angle. In contrast, Canelo looked flat, predictable, and unable to adjust. Yet somehow the Mexican superstar still walked away the richer man. This disconnect has left fans frustrated. They're tired of seeing boxing reward brand value over true craft, turning the sport into more of a popularity contest than a test of skill. Even WBC president Mauricio Suleiman, known for his diplomatic approach, couldn't ignore what everyone saw.
To really enjoy what he has just accomplished.
His performance was pretty clean cut. Is there a need for a rematch though? Canelo came on a little bit late, but
that's different. They took a long time to prepare for this great fight. Let them enjoy, let them have a rest.
He praised Crawford's performance as clean, surgical, and controlled while subtly acknowledging that Canelo's late rally was desperate, not dangerous. Crawford didn't just win. He dominated, etching his name in the history books. Yet, despite such a monumental performance, Crawford now faces demands to prove it again, while Canelo enjoys rest, recovery, and luxury, cushioned by the very boxing machine that protects its biggest moneymakers. This contradiction has enraged purists. The winner fights for validation, while the loser continues to command headlines and riches. Trainer Bill Haney captured the mood perfectly, saying, "Everyone knew this was coming." He emphasized that Crawford didn't just beat Canelo. He made it look easier than his destruction of Errol Spence, a feat no one thought possible. Haney's praise for Team Crawford also carried a message.
Exactly. And you guys knew what was going to happen. You were in denial. That shit looked easier than Errol Spence. Did it look, huh?
It's a brilliant performance. Brilliant performance.
Man. Shout out to Team Crawford, Bomac, and that whole team, man. You know what I mean?
Where'd you rank him all-time list after that?
I mean, put his face on Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm saying? He deserves it.
This wasn't just a victory, it was a coronation. Crawford is now the undisputed pound-for-pound king, and conversations about his place on boxing's Mount Rushmore are no longer exaggerations, they're reality. Canelo's empire, built on leverage, matchmaking, and marketing, was shattered by Crawford's composure, adaptability, and sheer skill. The crown has shifted. The torch has been passed. But until boxing's financial system catches up, Crawford's legacy will shine even brighter against the backdrop of a sport that still clings to its pampered cash cows. Boxing can no longer hide behind paydays and promotional hype, not when the new king has already claimed the throne in the ring. Former champion and analyst Johnny Nelson cut straight to the core of the conversation: money can't hide pride.
I don't want a big on my face. I've got to get a job done here. So after the things he said the last time, he knows he probably mugged himself off. I think that probably hurt him more than anything.
Canelo Alvarez strutted into the fight like the invincible face of boxing, but Terence "Bud" Crawford stripped all that bravado away. You could see it in Canelo's eyes after the final bell, the moment he realized his aura of invincibility had been shattered. No amount of money, not even his massive $150 million payday, can buy back mystique once it's gone. Crawford came to work and executed his plan with ruthless precision. Canelo came to protect an image, and that image crumbled. For Nelson, the scoreboard wasn't financial, it was spiritual. Canelo now has to live with being outclassed, and that's a wound no paycheck can ever heal. Rising star Teofimo Lopez echoed Nelson's sentiment. He didn't sugarcoat it, the better man won. Plain and simple. Crawford didn't merely edge the fight, he dominated it from start to finish. Talk of a rematch, Lopez said, is laughable when a
Did we not? That's all that matters. Two guys risked it, and the better man won tonight. That was Crawford.
Terence got it right. Is there no need for a rematch, or do you want to see running back? Because it was pretty good, like you said.
No, it was pretty, it was really good, actually. So it's up to the jam.
Performance is this decisive. Champions recognize champions, and Lopez's respect for Crawford spoke volumes. Yet, despite that clarity, the boxing machine keeps pushing rematch narratives, dangling the storyline of Canelo's $150 million loss like it needs a sequel. But fans saw enough. Crawford didn't just beat Canelo. He closed the chapter with authority. If Alvarez truly wants redemption, he'll have to earn it, not buy it. Claressa Shields offered her take with raw honesty. She had always believed Crawford possessed the tools to dismantle the myth of Canelo. Her only fear was the politics, biased scorecards, favoritism, and the influence of money. But Crawford sliced through it all. Shields celebrated not just the victory, but the shift in boxing's power dynamics. For the first time in years, the sport couldn't rewrite the narrative or spin the outcome. Crawford smashed through boxing's glamour.
I knew it already. I had been testing him. He's one great champ. I saw how his body stood at 168. I'm like, man, y'all crazy. Still, they always talking about size. Still. Thank you. Que viva México, cabrones! ¡Ánimo! Now, congrats to Crawford for being the first male to be 3-time undisputed champion. I'm 4-time undisputed, but the first male to do it is Terence Crawford. And against Canelo. Oh my. I was nervous.
Glass ceiling, proving that skill and courage can overpower hype and privilege. Shields' words echoed the voices of millions of fans. Reward the man who risked everything, not the one cushioned by wealth and reputation. Former champion Shawn Porter took it a step further, peeling back layers others missed. This wasn't just a clash of styles, it was a clash of mentalities. Canelo relied on his chin, strength, and pride. Crawford relied on timing, poise, and adaptability. The psychological warfare was subtle but brutal. Crawford refused to let Canelo's A-side narrative dictate anything inside the ropes. This fight wasn't about belts or pay-per-view numbers. It was about breaking illusions, and Crawford did exactly that. Still, despite being exposed in the ring, Canelo walked away with $150 million, a fact that enraged Porter. When excuses about weight began flooding social media, Porter shut them down. Crawford wasn't a weight bully, he was simply better. Size, reach, and pounds became smokescreens to protect Canelo's brand. But
it's more than skills paying the bills with this one, man. I think that there's some intangibles with this fight that are internal, you know, the stuff you don't see. And like, for an example, we can talk about Canelo's chin. Is it that he just really has this chin that's really sturdy? Or is it that he has a chin that's sturdy, but he also has a mentality that I won't go down? You know what I mean? Like, that's when I mean, like, internal intangibles. And I think that both these guys possess a tremendous amount of skill, talent, abilities that, you know, to the naked eye, you just don't.
Fans aren't fooled. They saw the same fight Porter did, a master technician controlling every exchange, regardless of physical differences. Porter's message was blunt. Stop moving the goalposts every time the golden boy loses. Give Crawford the credit he's earned. For too long, the weight excuse has been the safety net of Canelo loyalists. But this time, it's hollow. Crawford's victory wasn't gifted by judges or circumstances. It was earned through sheer brilliance. If boxing wants to preserve its credibility, it must stop bending reality every time its favorite superstar gets humbled. Crawford's win wasn't just an upset. It was a seismic shift in the sport's balance of power. For years, Alvarez was the untouchable money man, the fighter whose defeats never threatened his empire.